Hi guys, I'm James, host of DOGHAUS. Welcome back to episode 3. I know it's been a little while. I'm sorry. So, I don't think this is that controversial of a statement, but the COVID pandemic has affected a lot of things. And the film industry in particular has been affected in a huge way. I mean, really, how could it not? Almost every theater in America was closed for about a whole year, and even the few that were opened weren't making any money because, movies stopped being released for like a long time, unless they were maybe someplace like Netflix, of course. So, in a way, the pandemic was actually pretty good for one sector of this industry, streaming. But now that everything is slowly opening back up, it's been kind of hard for the box office to return where it used to be. Even the biggest movies released so far haven't reached the height that they could have pre-COVID. Even like I'm talking the biggest movies, like some of the Marvel movies, they've done pretty well, but they haven't gotten anywhere near where they could have before the pandemic. But what I'm interested in talking about right now is an upcoming movie that seems like it could finally get the box office to blow up again. The movie that I'm talking about is this month's Spider-Man No Way Home. Whether it's because of the marketing or the insane rumors or just because people like Spider-Man, it's looking really likely that this movie will do extremely well. Now, I hope you enjoyed the guest segment of this episode. Okay, guys, this is my guest for this episode, Aiden Catanzaro.
What's up?
What's up? Yeah. So, what we're going to be talking about in this part of the episode is, as I mentioned earlier, the new Spider-Man movie. So, Aiden, you've told me you're a pretty big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah. Ever since I was little, no pun intended, of course all seriousness, he's been my favorite, and it's just, with this movie coming out, and I love all iterations of the character, and with this one coming out, and there's rumors of, Toby and Andrew, people that both previously played Spider-Man besides Tom Holland, plus all their respective villains in the trailer as well. It's like childhood all over again. It's like my two worlds like colliding, kind of.
Yeah, I definitely feel a similar way because I used to watch the Tobey Maguire movies so much, and it's really weird, like seeing the trailers where you can tell that they're probably in it, but they just don't. So I can see why so many people are just excited for it, and the movie so far, they released tickets. You buy tickets, immediately broke all the ticketing sites. Like, it really seems like this movie is going to be the movie, because even the bigger Marvel movies have had trouble at the box office, like none of them reach where they used to be. But I feel like this Spider-Man movie has a really good chance to maybe get like the movie theater industry at least back where it was for a bit, just because of how insane this movie looks.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I think that's what the film industry needs right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think, I don't know, the state, I don't know the stats specifically, but I think the trailer got more views than Endgame within 24 hours.
Yeah, it was, I remember that. It was.
I think I saw something about that like that. But yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I know some of the audience might not know a lot about Spider-Man or watch movies, but the big thing is, just imagine, so there's been 3 different Spider-Men. It seems like every single one of them is coming back for this movie, and all of their villains. So just for a lot of people who grew up watching these movies, who grew up loving the character and looking up to the character, this just seems like too good to be true in a way.
That's what I thought when I first heard about it. Because I think the first thing that there was news about, having all 3 in the film was the picture that Jamie Foxx posted. There was, I think this was sometime last year.
Yeah. Like
maybe a little bit earlier than that. But he posted a fan art of 3 Spider-Man and him as Electro in the sky. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be coming back from this movie, but then, he must have got a call from Marvel.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing it because I follow Jamie Foxx on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was looking at Instagram, I'm like,
yeah.
And then just immediately deletes it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, though. It looks really good. Looks insane.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, insiders, saying that it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
In terms of, events happening in the movie and stuff. So I'm there for the ride. I'm excited. I would love to go to a midnight release for it.
I'm genuinely trying to figure out how I can
Yeah.
do that, but it's
Cause I looked
really
at
hard.
I looked at the flicks near here.
Yeah.
And they're showing it on the 16th, a day earlier,
Okay.
because it's supposed to come out on the 17th. And I mean, there were still some tickets there.
Yeah, I feel like a big thing with that whole ticketing site thing, we can still get tickets because we don't live in the biggest,
Right.
most populated area. So that's more of an issue in cities. I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, it probably still crashes because so many people are trying to get it. But even for the biggest movies I've gone to, I went to see Infinity War on opening night. We could get tickets. Like,
Yeah.
it was fine. But yeah, it's just, and ever since basically ever since I got vaccinated or whatever, I've tried to go back to the movie theater, but I've tried to see as many movies as I can. Like, I just went to the movie theater. I actually saw It's a Wonderful Life,
Oh,
which
nice.
obviously did not come out this year. But there's just an old showing. Sometimes I like to do that where I'll go see like old movies. So it's just, I'm really excited to see a movie like this on the big
Yeah.
screen, and I know a lot of other people are.
Because I know, like, with the whole COVID thing in 2020, Marvel, I don't think Marvel released any movies in
I don't think so.
2020. I'm not sure. I don't think they did. But this year we had a crap ton of content.
Yeah.
With the shows on Disney Plus. I think we had this is gonna be the third movie coming out this year, third, fourth
Yeah,
one.
to be honest, ever since COVID, I think I've been getting a little bit less interested in Marvel. Like, I went to see Shang-Chi. I like that. But I didn't see Black Widow or Eternals.
Yeah, I saw Black Widow. It was okay.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi was good.
I really like that
I
one.
like Shang-Chi. It's on Disney Plus if you have that.
If you guys haven't seen it and you have Disney Plus, I'd recommend that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a couple of the shows. Yeah.
Hawkeye's really good. That's on now.
I was not expecting to like Hawkeye that much because Hawkeye, he's usually
Yeah.
the least interesting one, but I'm watching it. I think it's because there's like a new Hawkeye in the show,
Right.
but
Did you watch all 3 episodes?
yeah, I have.
Yeah. This isn't a spoiler for anybody, but I just love that because in the comics, some iterations he's hard of hearing or deaf.
Yeah.
So me as a hard of hearing person, it was they never portrayed that in the movies, but in the show they did that, and I just love like how it puts you in his shoes.
Yeah.
As far as there's some scenes where someone will be saying something to him and he can't hear him because he has his hearing aid on, and I just thought that was cool to see that representation on the screen.
Definitely. I think that's probably the best thing about like comic movies and comic books in general.
Yeah.
How a lot of these heroes are specifically made to like do things like
Yeah.
that to represent people or ideas that are.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite thing about the whole genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine too. Like Spider-Man's supposed to represent the youth. I feel like and back to Spider-Man. The thing that I love about the character so much is, and I feel like generally all the Marvel characters, is that they have real life problems. Like Spider-Man. Have you ever played the Spider-Man game
Yeah,
on
I have.
PlayStation?
Yeah.
Within the first 2 minutes into the game, he gets that envelope and he says that he has to pay his bills, but he still puts on that suit and jump out the window to save the day. But then he comes back home and he gets kicked out of his apartment.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I love Spider-Man so much and why I'm really excited for this movie is because the main thing about Spider-Man that's important is that he just deals with regular stuff. Like you said, he gets kicked out of his apartment. Like,
Yeah.
he has to deal with like his girlfriend like breaking up with him.
Yeah.
Like he has to deal with like superhero stuff, but he's also
A person.
a real guy.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that this movie will deal with stuff like that, and that's why I know a lot of people are excited with it, just because Spider-Man is someone you can relate to more
Right.
than some heroes.
Right. It's not like Batman where, he's a millionaire with
Yeah, I'm
all
a
this
huge
cool technology and stuff.
I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yeah.
But it's also like he's not the most relatable
Right.
sometimes.
Don't get me wrong, I like DC too, but I just feel like
Yeah.
Marvel's characters are more human-like rather than superhero,
Yeah, I know what you mean because DC has more like Batman, Superman, Wonder
Superman's
Woman.
an alien from a different planet,
Yeah. I mean, like DC kind of has. I think the Flash is kind of like that. I never finished that show because it got bad.
Yeah.
But
I used to love that show, man. After season 4, man, it just went
yeah,
downhill. I felt like got like halfway into season 4, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
yeah, it's
I'm good.
yeah. It was really it's. I'm definitely really excited to see this new Spider movie. That's just the main point of this episode. I think what we've talked about is really interesting, but the main point is just I think this movie is going to bring a lot of people into the theaters that haven't been yet. And I'm really excited about that because I'm actually planning on going to college for film production. So it's like important to me that movies do well, basically.
And me personally, I love how they're marketing this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of ironic because there's not really that much marketing, but that's what makes it so much more interesting and exciting. You know, I follow a bunch of fan accounts on Twitter, and they're always like, oh, like new leak or whatever, you know, whatever. But generally, the leaks are fake. Like I saw, there's a fan-made film being made right now, a Spider-Man fan-made film called Spider-Man Lotus, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
And the effects team for that made a fake leak, and it was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited. Let me ask you this: who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Ooh, favorite Spider-Man? I grew up with Tobey. I just grew up with Tobey. I like Tom a lot, and I think my thoughts on Andrew. I like the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. I don't like the second. I think he's good, but it's just the quality of that one movie.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like all three of them have good aspects of their portrayal on the character. You know, I feel like Toby was a great Peter Parker. You know, he got that nerdy aspect down to him, and Peter Parker, he's supposed to be like a science nerd and stuff. He was a good Spider-Man too. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I think he played the nerd, better a little bit. And his Peter Parker's like kind of sassy. I feel like a little bit. With Spider-Man 3. Oh my God, what's the meme called? Emo Maguire?
Yeah, I think it's called Bully Maguire.
Bully Maguire. Yeah, I love those memes. And then I feel like Andrew, he played a great Spider-Man, but I feel like his Peter Parker was kind of like the cool older brother. I mean, even though like he still got bullied, he was still skating and
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting choice to make.
Yeah.
Peter, a skater kid.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but
me neither. I didn't hate it, but I'm just saying like I think he played a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tom is, he got the younger like aspect of the character.
I mean,
very youthful, and I like his clips. Whenever he's fighting, he says some stuff. They all have some pretty good clips.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's good at both.
I've just always loved basically almost all the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
It's just been something and I'm just really, really looking forward to this movie a lot. So I just want to say thank you for coming on.
Of course,
I think this has been a really interesting one.
Heck yeah.
It was purposely, this episode was very different than the first two.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to do, purposely doing it. So just thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing this cool episode. Okay. So goodbye. I'll see you guys next episode.
See ya.